This grilled cheese sandwich hack is a game changer. I mean, just look at that beautiful crust and listen to that beautiful sound, my friends. I was looking around on YouTube at grilled cheese sandwich videos and they're like 10-15 minutes long. I'm not here to waste your time, that's ridiculous. Now let's go! Okay, real quick, let's talk cheese for a second. For this recipe, I'm gonna be using Monster cheese. I don't know what it's called, but it's delicious and it melts amazingly. Next up, cave-aged Gruyere from Switzerland, one of the best melting cheeses on earth, and it has an incredible flavor. And finally, the trick is in this cheese, the Parmigiano Reggiano. Just make sure it says Parmigiano Reggiano on the package and that it's from Italy, and then you'll get the real stuff. There is these American knockoff versions that say Parmesan. That is not what you want. Look, I just have a preference for these cheeses. Makes an incredible grilled cheese, but that's just my taste. Over here, I'm gonna list a bunch of other beautiful melting cheeses that you can use. Okay, next up, let's talk bread. So I am a total brioche fanboy, so that's what I'm gonna be using today. And I'll explain to you exactly how I use this bread when making the grilled cheese. But again, this is preference, and this trick is gonna work with literally any bread you can think of. Just take some unsalted room temperature butter and just carefully and very thoroughly butter up that bread and really make sure to get into all the corners and nooks and crannies. It's not like you need a ridiculous amount of butter, just be really thorough with where you're getting it. Now you could use a microplane, a fine cheese grater like this one, and if you don't have either of those tools, just use this fine setting on a box grater. And we'll just grate some of this Parmigiano Reggiano onto the board. That looks like enough, you don't need too much. And we're also gonna do a little bit of Gruyere. About 80% Parmesan, 20% Gruyere. Gently mix it because you don't want this to clump together. And then spread it out to fit the size of those two pieces of bread. And so we'll take the buttered side of that bread and dip it into the cheese. Don't want to smash the bread, but put a little pressure on it. You just move it around a little bit like this to make sure you get it thoroughly coated. And look at that. And just do the other one. And because we were so careful with the butter, it's just really nicely coated. So I get a lot of questions about equipment. I want to quickly serve the people who are in the market for a kind of non-stick pan. Recently, I just got this Le Creuset French enameled cast iron pan. Incredible, incredible pan. The downsides are this thing is so freaking heavy and really expensive. Now next up, this made-in cookware pan. This is definitely the best non-stick pan I've owned. I would say it's a little over mid-grade in price. You know, I use this mostly when I'm cooking eggs, but it's amazing for all kinds of non-stick applications. Only downside with this one is it's a little small, and I couldn't actually fit those two pieces of bread in it. Now, if you're looking for a cheap option, obviously cast iron is the way to go. This is just a large cast iron pan. I think it costs like 20 bucks. It's so cheap, it does the trick. So there's 3 options for you. I will be sure to link all 3 of these down in the description. First thing I'm gonna do is kick on the broiler. I will explain more later. I will be using Le Creuset today. Kick on your pan. Literally just a touch over low heat. That's because we're using brioche, which has sugar in it. It will burn easily. Pan's been heating up for about 90 seconds. I wanna carefully drop that bread and just put the slightest bit of pressure. And with brioche, we're gonna go low and slow. So I got my Munster sliced and ready. And with the Gruyere, I'm just gonna shave it with a peeler. That's so we can get nice even strips that'll melt evenly. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this cheese on right away because it'll start warming up through that bread and melt a lot easier when it goes in the broiler. So Munster, a little offset like this so it's dispersed amongst the whole sandwich. And then we'll start layering in our Gruyere, and that fits perfectly. You see how that cheese is already kind of melting? That's what we want. It's gonna make broiling a lot easier. With this, you wanna be really careful. What I would do is actually hold the spatula upside down so it's curving right here. Gently get a corner and peek under. We're looking for a slightly golden brown color. And by the way, lamps and fish spatula, I could not live without. I'll also link this. And so I can see now it's slightly golden brown. So we're gonna go about 8 to 10 inches away from the broiler. This is gonna happen so fast. You see the cheese is bubbling already after 20 seconds. It's done. And get it out. Oh yeah. I will say this is a little trickier in the enameled cast iron. It's definitely gonna release way easier in one of these kind of real non-stick pans. Fold that over, ba-boom. And I know most people don't have resting racks, so what you can do is just take a couple forks and just pop it on there. If you don't have the air circulating underneath it, it will lose its crisp, trust me. Now let that cool for about 90 seconds. Also, you'll notice when this comes right out of the pan, it's not crispy. As it cools down, that's when it gets its crisp. Let's cut this thing already. Moment of truth. Oh yeah! You'd be a fool to click off the video right now. Oh my God. I'm telling you, that crust is the best thing ever. Sgt Gilbert! My friend, will you please do the honors on the fridge today? Yeah, that's it. Wobble on over here, buddy. Come on. Well, Sergeant, that's what we call a battle scar, buddy. I'm trying to hold it together here for the show, but like my heart just broke a little bit for reals, man. God, it went all, God. It's okay. He can transfer his consciousness into a new pepper grinder at any time, so nobody worry. Yeah. Look, Sgt Gilbert may be injured, but April 29th is the day he put the biggest dent on the fridge. Well, my friends, make sure to leave a nice comment for Sgt Gilbert here, who needs quite an extensive, painful surgery to fix this. And until next time, you know I love you and I'm out.